Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. And hi guys, my name is Muhammad Ainulhakim bin Ahmad Aman, and welcome to my video presentation. For today's presentation, I would like to talk to you about regarding the unethical behavior on the financial industry. So, before I start, I would like to define what is unethical behavior. Unethical behavior, it is an action that falls outside of what is considered morally right or proper for a person, a profession, or an industry. Individuals can behave unethically as can for their business, professions, and politicians. For example, unethical behavior among individuals is when you lying to your parent about where you go, or maybe you lying on your resume about how you want to get the job. And next is unethical behavior among business. Okay, so for business is maybe unethical that you're not paying your employee for all hours that they have worked, and then refusing to give warranty claim on defect product that has been sold. So that is what unethical behavior means. So today, the topic that I want to share with all of you is about unethical behavior on the profession. It is the topic that why the government and the biggest bank in UK, which is HSBC Bank, have helped their wealthy client to dodge tax easily. So, before we start, what is tax? In the modern economics, tax is important for the government revenue. Tax are levied almost every country on the world. The process of tax are used by the government to manage the country and also for the expenditure and of the developing to our country. Tax also are being collected to spend by the government for the purpose of physical development and infrastructure such as hospital, schools, road, social services, education, and more. Therefore, we must know and understand that tax revenue is obtained from the people through tax that have been paid by the individual to the government, so that the government will be able to utilize and enjoy by us as the citizen. So, in order to help the nation to be more developed and successful, we must pay tax so that our nation can be developed and can be one of top country in the world. It is our responsible to pay the tax for the government to maintain the stability of our revenue. Now, the issue that happened on HSBC Bank had been found by the BBC Panorama team. According to their reporter, Richard Wilton, the HSBC Bank, which is one of the biggest banks on UK, has helped their wealthiest client to dodge tax. Can you believe it? The accusations are made against HSBC Bank because they have seen 106,000 clients' accounts from 203 countries being leaked by whistleblower and IT expert, which is Hervé Falciani. Eventually, Hervé Falciani has given the document leak to the French authorities for them to run through investigation towards the HSBC Bank. The file that being leaked is being given to the French authorities so that they can catch what is happened on the HSBC Bank, that many clients have dodged tax from the current year 2005 until 2007. The BBC Panorama team had tracked down the millionaire tax evaders to get some information from them. Now, the question is, how the client managed to dodge tax every year. For your information, the way of the client use is by making an offshore account and keep the certain amount on that account. What is offshore account? For your information, offshore account is a bank regulated under international banking license, which usually prohibits the bank from establishing business activities in the jurisdiction of establishment. Due to the less regulation and transparency, accounts with offshore banks were often used to hide undeclared income, which is the money is being hid from the taxman so that the user of the account can dodge tax and evade tax. By looking on the cases, many clients have hid all their money to HSBC Swiss Bank. It is one of the private banking that offered total secrecy to their client. The BBC Panorama team had tracked down the millionaire tax evaders to get the information for them. One of the clients that being tracked down is Richard Carey. Richard Carey. He is one of the clients of HSBC Bank. He is the millionaire that made British clothing supplier on the high street. On 2005, he had made a request to withdrawal amounted to £2.25 million by cash. So let's see the video.
And attached to some of the accounts were notes written by bankers. They weren't all about tax, but they discuss their wealthy clients. Take Richard Carey, who made his fortune supplying clothes to the British High Street. His tax status allowed him to keep millions away from the taxman. But his notes describe an exceptional transaction. On the day Mr. Carey completed a major business deal, he asked to withdraw some money. 2 days later, he turned up with a security guard to collect £2.25 million in cash.
When we're dealing with the kind of sums that you've mentioned, that on the face of it raises the red flag, because it's difficult to understand why somebody would want that amount of cash.
HSBC says it is common private banking practice to provide customers with cash on receipt of a valid request. But our expert says a reputable bank should not have handed out that much cash.
It throws up all kinds of issues.
Mr. Carey has told us there was nothing improper about the cash withdrawal and that it was authorised by 3 senior bank officials.
Now, there's nothing illegal about having a Swiss bank account, but we've seen evidence that shows the bank was perfectly willing to turn a blind eye to some of its clients breaking the law.
As we see on the video, Richard Carey has come to the bank with 2 hired bodyguards and a suitcase, which is he is filling the suitcase with a mountain of cash. According to the Richard Brook, an ex-tax inspector, he said that banks are supposed to fill in suspicious activity report for such transaction because the amount that mentioned have raised a red flag on the financial industry. HSBC banks say it is a common private banking practice to provide their customer with cash on valid request. But clearly, a reputable bank like HSBC Bank should not easily hand out that amount of cash. This mysterious event is now revealed on the leaked file that shows the bank willing to give the certain amount of cash without doing any report at all. Since on that cases, HSBC Bank today have introduced a tax transparency initiative under which amendment terms and conditions allowed the private bank to refuse a cash withdrawal request that is over £10,000. HSBC Bank today now have apologized towards their mistake on the past. As we can see, this is one of unethical behavior from the HSBC Bank. During on that time, one law has been introduced, which is European Saving Directive. What is European Saving Directive? European Saving Directive objective is have been introduced, which is to get at hidden bank accounts that dodge tax, which is the next client that we will talk about is Kate Humphries, which is a millionaire and a director of Stock City. Kate Humphrey have one account that is non-declared. Obviously, the account that is non-declared, it is that one thing to hidden from the taxman. With the new law that bank introduced, which is European Saving Directive, the HSBC Swift Bank manager have helped the client one step ahead of the law by giving Kate Humphrey family a foreign credit card so they could withdraw the cash at cash point of overseas. Can you believe about it? By looking on the link file of Havel Shiani, it is clearly obvious that the HSBC Bank also clearly helped them to evade tax. This is obvious one of the unethical behavior that happened from the HSBC Swift manager account. This is one of the biggest criminal that happened on the organization. Onwards, after the file leak had been completely revealed around of the world, HSBC Bank have been proven guilty of their action. The Swiss HSBC private bank, they have to pay amounted £192 million for helping their client to evade tax to the US government after they have admitted guilty on hiding 1.26 billion total assets from the tax authorities. So, how we gonna to prevent from this issue it happen again? So, to solve the issue that happened about HSBC Bank, the first one, we need to aware about the unethical behavior of the top management bank of HSBC, which is Lord Green. He is one of the top bankers that expert in bank system but still can get through it properly. He does not receive any legal action from the government. As we can see, when the top management allow this activity happen, it will create another bankers also to do this illegal action. As a leader, we must show a good example and behavior so all of the employees can follow through their top management. The other solution is the corruption of the government also must be changed. There will be one of the government that let this issue escape easily. This is happen because they all bank receive untraceable cash to keep their mouth shut. This corruption from the insider of the government will not gonna help to stop this problem. So the solution to fight this corruption is by showing evidence, and we empowers of citizen to eliminate the corruption that happen on the government. And for the last solution is for this issue by making a willful blindness a criminal offense to the person that help their clients to dodge tax. By tightening the law, it will help us to prevent the bankers from their customers by evading tax. Other than pay fine, we also can add up 1 to 3 years prison to person that contribute to evade tax payment. By doing this solution, hopefully we can strively prevent the tax evading from happen again, and we hope that our citizen can always pay tax from our generous income to help our nation in order to strive together. As a conclusion, many people are so creative by saving their money, but that is not an option or give us a green light for us to dodge by paying tax. By paying tax, it will help us to increase the government revenue. So we must remember to always contribute to our nation revenue. Then unethical behavior is one of the aspects that is important on doing our work. We must not do any illegal activity that will lead to the performance of ourselves. The issue is clearly show us about ethical that we must have when doing our work. Lastly, it is up to us those who are in position of who care to work for their best interest and did not do any illegal activity that will hit ourselves. So I hope we can get something from this video, which is we must always do work with a good behavior and not doing any illegal action, because it can drop down our performance. So that's all from me. I hope you all enjoy by watching my video. So I want to say thank you and bye bye.